This is Bari. The old centre is up round here, and boats leave for Greece from here. There's the Duomo Cathedral just there. The basilica, which is very similar, as we shall see, is here. The castle is here, and down here we have the railway stations. Ferrovia dello Stato and FSE, that's Ferrovia del Sud-Est, leave from Bari Centrale, which is here. Ferrovia Bari Nord and Ferrovia Calabro-Lucani leave from these two stations here. And here is the big square in front of the railway station. Right, it's now Saturday morning at 9:30, back in Bari. This is the big square in front of the railway station. And it should be said that that's called the Piazza Roma, not the name given in the guidebook, which caused some panic on the day we arrived here. We're now in a hotel just down there. If we just look at this map for a minute, the map of Puglia, we can see how we were at Brindisi and came down to Lecce, from where we saw Otranto, Gallipoli, and we went across to Taranto. Then we came up the line to Bari, where we would like to have stopped at Ostuni. Now, the lines from Bari, the one to Lucania, comes out here and we didn't see. There is one comes down to Alberobello, which we'll see later. There's one comes up here, which will go on to Bitonto. The main FS line goes up the coast through Bisceglie, Molfetta, Trani to Barletta. That's where we'll go first. So this is Bari Central. There's a nice double-decker train, if you like that sort of thing. And here is a nice local train. So this is Molfetta, which the guidebook helpfully tells us is the home of trucks and gangsters. And this is just an everyday local church which I passed on the way down from the railway station to the seafront. Looks very new, or it could be a rebuild after some bombing in the last war. The Latin scholars amongst us will be able to tell us what all those big words mean. Remember the Normans? Well, after the Normans we had the Angevins, and then we had the Aragonese, and or the Spanish. Charles V became emperor in 1527, and eventually by the Treaty of Cato Cambrensis in 1559 took over Sicily and the Kingdom of Naples, i.e. southern Italy. From then on it was ruled in this area by the Spanish in one form or another for about 3 more centuries, until the unification of Italy in the 19th century. Now I think that's Mussolini, but I never got to know really. Well, that is Purgatory. It's a Spanish influence. Back to that so-called cathedral and the Purgatory. Yes, it was a little confusing. I was told that this was the Duomo, the Cathedrale, which it is. It's the new cathedral, not the old one which I was looking for. Molfetta, I think, has one of the biggest anyway working fishing fleets in southern Italy, which is worth knowing. This dates from about 1785. Caravaggio, obviously. Now that is actually in a little church next door. That's probably a Titian or a Caravaggio. Titian. Now, and that's Giuseppe Mazzini, who seems to have been a altar boy. Like Eastbourne. Yes, it is a bit like Eastbourne, I suppose, in some ways. It's near the sea anyway. Now actually this is the old cathedral dome we were looking for. Down all these dodgy alleyways. The seals again. Now some say that this is the grandest of the Apulian cathedrals, 12th century. Mixture of Romanesque and Byzantine, which is not surprising considering the history of this area. Why the sun always has to be the wrong way around. The plan is, I am told, subtly asymmetrical. Yes, another wedding and another video. Subtly asymmetrical, wide nave and 3 domes, the central one of which is elliptical. Dates from the 12th century. I could have known this thing's right here on the seafront now, we've come to the back of it. And the view from the front door. And on the way back up to the railway station I passed a lot of what I can only think of as, I think it's called socialising or something. People knowing everybody. And of course Garibaldi. And I think the railway station's up there. We'll make our way to Bisceglie. Now we've plotted our copybook now. The train arrives 20 minutes late, then gives up the ghost altogether, so we have to change trains in the station onto this double-decker train. Quite interesting. I should say though that the platform on which we had to change trains, that this replacement train turned up about 2 minutes after the other one had come, and so in very little time here we are in Bisceglie. This is now Bisceglie, and very nice it looks. We're looking forward to seeing this delightful church of Santa Margherita. Teatro Garibaldi and turn left. Well, what's it there? Santa Margherita. Yes, thank you. Santa Margherita. And here it is. Well, looks as though someone's just got married, but not here. Guess this appears to be undergoing comprehensive restoration. I can't see a thing. Yes, so after coming down all these dodgy streets with all these dodgy scooters, can't see a thing. Yes, that was down there. Back up to the railway station to catch our train now onwards to Trani. We've got the upper deck to ourselves and a view of the sea. And this is the road down from Trani station to the sea. Nice and quiet at 2:30. I've got another one of those big squares with the coat of arms like at Brindisi. Now this is San Domenico. I haven't found the old cathedral yet. Just have a look back towards the station. Another nice little park area, and possibly the Duomo in the distance. Now you can smell the sea. See some boats. Trani was one of the most important of medieval Italian ports. It once fought a war with Venice, so it must have been quite considerable. There's the cathedral again, just round the bay. These actually look like real fishing boats. So here we are now, the famous Cathedral of San Niccolò Pellegrino, with its triple apse as at Monreal and various other places. The church is actually on 3 layers. At the bottom we've got the crypt of San Lucio. In the middle we've got a church of Santa Maria della Scala, and on top of that we've got the church of San Niccolò. That tower looks as though it was added on at a later date, don't you think? But notice the shape of the church. How familiar is it? We'll look through these churches again at the end to see how they resemble each other. I think the middle floor now. Yes, I think we are on the middle floor here. I don't think we ever did get onto the lower layer. So we're now in the church of the Byzantine church, I think, of Santa Maria della Scala. Now through this door we've come into a second chamber on the middle floor. So let's go up the stairs now to the main church on top, San Niccolò Pellegrino. I understand that it's recently been restored to its Norman simplicity. The 12th century bronze doors, which were made by a local craftsman, have now been moved inside the church for preservation purposes. They can still be seen, as we shall see in a minute. Each contains a set of scenes, biblical scenes. Each little square has their own picture in it, saints and various things. Right, so it's time now to make our way back through these streets to the San Marco, presumably. Possibly. Through the streets to the bay, and then up towards the railway station to make our last call at Barletta. Now these shaded avenues are very welcome on a warm day. And our last stop up this line, our last stop for the day, is Barletta. You can see there a 20-foot colossus, and in one picture it reminds one of Ozymandias again. However big you are, you can end up in the bin. With that thought, the Basilica of San Sepolcro is across the road. The San Sepolcro 8-sided dome is supposed to be, there it is, supposed to be reminiscent of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. If we go past the Colossus, turn left at the end there, we come to what I think is called the Angevin Tower, and if we go underneath that and then turn right, we find, and look at it again how similar, the 12th century cathedral. Richard I is said to have contributed to its cost when he stopped here on his way to the Crusades. That Colossus, incidentally, is thought to have been stolen from Constantinople by the Venetians, and the ship that was, there's the canopy over the altar again, the ship that was bringing it under the booty back to Venice foundered off the coast here. The local citizenry left it there for several decades and then erected it where it is now. There's one we've come across with an ambulatory around the East End. Another Titian. Those round arches containing two round-topped windows again. Sometimes three windows. Now quite near is the castle, started by the Normans and added to by Frederick and others. And next to that, the 13th century church of Sant'Andrea. With complimentary music.